Failing the 131 support that we were looking at yesterday pushed us down to our secondary and would be considered the emergency support, right? Let's go ahead and validate what could be happening for GTII in the coming sessions. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again on this Monday. This is ARCa coming at you with a GTII technicals and raw price action threat of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so what I want you to notice here is actually volatility versus momentum here on the 6-hour chart, okay? So now the reason why I'm talking about the 6-hour chart in this instance is because we have the potential of looking at a setup in preparation right now. So the reason why I'm saying preparation is because this is going to take because of what happened today, this is going to take a little more pressure for us to be able to create what I'm thinking could happen. Okay, so 6-hour time frame tends to live out a lot faster than any other time frames, right? I'm talking about the 8-hour, 12-hour, obviously. So what I'm talking about here is this. Okay, so potentially we can actually make an upside continuation. Let me just go ahead and adjust these drawings, right? So we could potentially make an upside continuation to eventually touch the critical zone of volatility, right? So if that is the case, then we would be able to start doing something along these lines, right? So then we would face a correction into critical, and then we would actually come back down to start contracting from going in an expansive phase, right? So that is something that I'm looking for, okay? So, and I think it's critically important for us to consider that for a few reasons, because then momentum would actually do this. Okay, let's take a look here. Just like this. And this is something that I usually talk about within the communities, right? So, yeah, we would essentially be looking for something along the lines of this, okay, where we can actually create the upside into critical volatility. Then we would be able to see a statistical move where it would be volatility versus momentum. And in this case, yeah, we could actually see a push to that upside. Okay, but that would mean that we actually still need to kind of capitulate or go down a bit more before we can even continue, right, to the upside. So if we're looking at a downside, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, let's see. So this is the critical support that I told you guys about just now. Okay, this is that critical support right down here. Okay, we came down to the secondary one. This is why we had that dotted line there, right? So we came right back down to that secondary support, but price action, I mean, we have increased volume here on the bears, right? So this is still suggesting a little bit more of downside if we're looking at just raw price action. Okay, so if that's the case, then we would likely come back down to the next geometrical area. Okay, so let's go ahead and just see or figure that. Okay, because this thing could be prepping for or trying to reset the conditions for another statistical upside. Okay, so right away, I can actually see a very confluent target here, and it would actually be right at this, the closing of this candle, the wick low of this candle here, the wick low of this candle here, and it would be located right at that 1.618, 102. Okay, so this is essentially what could be happening. Please notice the relevance of all of these candles, all these right here as well, and even the resistance of this and the opening of this one here. Okay, so since we failed that 131, I mean, I saw at a certain point we did bounce from it. Okay, but it looks like people were looking at that. Okay, but also people were looking at this secondary support as well. But it's obviously showing that it wasn't enough. Okay, so in this case, we are in a bit of a precarious situation here. Okay, so we weren't. This is catching everybody by surprise, by the way, because we have test number 1 and test number 2. That's usually not the failing point of a bearish formation. First of all, this is a bearish formation. You guys know that already. The ascending channels are not good. Okay, so failing it on test number 2 is not really the case, which is what's kind of pushing me to say that this may be a bear trap. Okay, so if we do face the capitulation down to the areas. I'm going to give you a range though. Okay. So it's going to be between the areas of about 111 and 102. Okay. So let me just go ahead and make that drawing just like this. We'll favor that 111 as well. Okay. Lucky 111. And the area of about 102. Okay. So if we can actually find a bounce from this, then and it actually succeeds it to the upside, we need to first of all do this. Okay, hold on just a sec, hold your horses. We would actually have to make the downside, right? We find that support, we would likely find resistance from the channel itself. We would come back down, test that one spot 272 at 111 as a valid area of support before coming up and actually succeeding the inside of the channel again. Okay, so this is very important to know what could happen here, because if this is the case and we're suggesting this downside here, and being that it's test number 2 and not test number 3 where it actually capitulates and succeeds the outside of the channel, then yeah, we could be preparing maybe a bear trap here, and that's also, it would be confluent as well with what we're looking at in volatility versus momentum on that the 6 hour. Here you go. So that touch all the way to the downside could be in respects to what the 6 hour time frame is doing. Okay, so please remember that this is definitely speculation. I haven't mathematically backed what I'm telling you. In fact, I'm just telling you that, giving you an opinion here, okay? Because a lot of things actually fell pretty low today, and a lot of those things were not expected to drop this low today. Okay, so that's essentially what I'm looking at for GTII. We're going to have to keep a close eye on this and see what could be happening, okay? Please remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Just take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever, okay? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be just fine. Please notice as well that the 4 hour, we have the 8 hour and the daily suggesting downside, okay, pretty significantly too. And we have also the 3-day making a bearish cross below that 14-day simple moving average. So all the price action from today really flashed the price action a little too low. Where I'm telling you that it could be a bear trap is actually specific to the 5-day. Okay, so the 5-day is actually right at support right now. Okay, so this could be facing that 14-day simple moving average support before a bounce to the upside. Okay, so if that is the case, then yeah, we would have essentially set up a massive bear trap, and this thing would actually continue onwards and upward to try to meet that target of about $4.70 something cents, right? So that would be the ideal situation here. Okay, I know a lot of sentiment is going around regarding the failure of the acquisition or the partnership or merger, right, of CRTD and GTII. So there's a lot of sentiment. Okay, so that's particularly when we start to get a little our edge gets a little diminished in those areas there, because we don't know how people are feeling like in the background, right? So we don't know when somebody's just going to decide to take their profits or wherever, right? So once again, guys, please know I'm not a financial advisor, okay? Go ahead and refer to the links in the description below if you would like to follow the ARCa Bulls trading community, and also say hello to me on Twitter, okay? But with that said, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.